Hello Creators Club. I hope you guys are doing great, getting ready for Christmas, all the fun things. I wanted to just do a tutorial today on how to paint our recent kit here. It is the interchangeable home sign. So this is what you should have gotten in your kit, along with some Velcro right here. We're gonna use acrylic paints, so same kind of paints that we always use. You can really use anything you want on these. If you have some stain and you wanted to do that on the background, if you have glitter, whatever you want to use, you can. I bought these kind of cute little blingy things at the Dollar Tree the other day that might look cute on like the snowflake, or it's really whatever you guys want. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna paint the background first, and I am just gonna do mine white, but you can do whatever color you want. If you wanted to do two colors, you could use Velcro for all the letters. You might have to get a little bit more Velcro, but you know, you could change it out for the seasons and just use Velcro on all the letters, which I'll show you guys how to do that here in a little bit. But I'm just using a foam brush. You could use anything. You could use your paintbrush. You could use a rag, whatever works. Simple. So we're just gonna fill this in. I'm not going to make mine very dark, or very, I guess not dark, but super thick, because I kind of like that wood grain to show through a little. But if you want yours, if you're doing white and you want yours to be really bold, you could do two coats. My white is about empty. I'm using this Anita's paint today. This is the one from Hobby Lobby that I've talked about before. It's kind of cool, like every time I go in there too, they're on sale. They're 30% off, which makes them less than $1 for the little bottles, so that's always good. I went to Michael's the other day and they had like zero paint, which was crazy to me. Very picked over for Christmas, I guess. Okay, so like I said, I made mine a little bit see-through. If you want to do yours, you know, a little thicker, you could just let it dry and do a second coat. The key is you want it to be really dry before we put that Velcro on. So I'm just gonna set this aside for now. And then, so I've got my H, M, and E, and my little interchangeable pieces. Okay, so I've got my letters out here. I'm going to do my H, M, E in black. I've got just my apple barrel black paint here. Now the same goes for painting these. You could use a little makeup sponge, which you can find these at Walmart, or even the Dollar Tree has some. You'll want one for each color. So you could use a paintbrush, you could use whatever you have on hand. I'm just gonna do this little makeup sponge, and I'm just kind of dabbing the paint on there. I've got my one of these poster boards underneath so I don't get more paint everywhere, because I have paint everywhere. Okay, so I've got my letters painted. I'm going to actually just flip this around because I don't want to get black paint all over my other pieces, and that will just give them a little bit of time to dry while I'm painting the other pieces. All right, so I'm gonna do my heart in red. I have this Anita's again. I'm gonna do my Easter bunny in some yellow. I've got green, which this is Christmas green with apple barrel. And this yellow is called just a bright yellow by Anita's. And then I've also got just some like powder blue. This is from Folk Art. It's called Calypso Sky. But any color, like I said, any colors will work. You could use glitter paint. You could do whatever you guys want. I'm going to continue using these little makeup sponges. And as you guys have probably figured out, the paint, you know, goes into this wood really quickly and easily. So after that first coat, you can decide if you want to do a second one. On my black, I kind of stuck with the rustic theme where you can see through the paint on a little bit of it. I did not paint the edges. You can if you want to. Okay. Use my yellow here. Sometimes if I'm gonna throw this poster board away, I'll just put the paint right on the poster board while I'm painting, because it doesn't take very much of the paint, and then you don't have to use the paper plate to just kind of toss it. Now you could do different designs on these little guys too. Something that I've seen that's cute on this little bunny is you could take like a little pom-pom ball and glue it on there, which is just kind of cute. I'm gonna add a little bit of white in with this yellow just to help it cover all those marks from my laser cutter. Just brighten him up a little bit. Okay. And as you guys know, you can pause me anytime. I know I paint faster than most, so. Okay, so this one is going to be for the snowflake. I think silver would also be really pretty. You can also spray paint these. So if you have some cans of spray paint laying around, it works really well on these wooden pieces. It's not quite as fun to spray paint, but and this snowflake, I'm just kind of dabbing this on there because if you're using a makeup sponge or really anything with all these edges, it'll want to go kind of off the edge with your paint. So if you dab it on there, you're not using as much paint, and it will just kind of stay on top there. Now in my example, I did this whole thing green, and then I added some white highlights. So you can do however you want. If you want the vase to be, or the flower pot to be a little bit different color, you could do that. You could do a brown, you could do orange, whatever you wanted. add some yellow into the bottom here and just give it a little bit different, just a little bit different color there. So all I did is I just put a teeny bit of yellow on my foam brush here, just to kind of give it a little different color. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to let it dry some. And I'm going to come back and I'm going to put some white in where those little leaves are, where the little pieces of the little succulent are. Okay, so now if you want to go back and do a second coat on any of them, you can do that. Or if you feel like your background or your letters need a second coat, now's the time to do that. Okay, so I'm going to grab a just a really small paintbrush here. And I'm going to go in, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a little bit of white, not much, and a little bit of green on my brush. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in and just do some highlighting on here. So I'm starting at the tip of the flower, the little succulent, and I'm just bringing that color down. It's okay to make this paint kind of thick. Give it some texture. Add a little bit more white in there just to, what you're kind of wanting to do is show the curvature of these where in between kind of the leaves here. And the less you mix the colors, the more of that definition you're going to have, which is what you kind of want. You want that paint to just sort of sit on top so you can make it, makes it look three-dimensional. Okay, I'm gonna rinse this out real quick. Dry my paintbrush off. And I'm going to take a little bit of white paint here. And there's this little curvy line, which you shouldn't have a problem seeing through your green paint. Just going to give it, now you could do this in red, you could do it in hot pink for summer. Any color. You just want to make sure your green is dry underneath if you're going to do something bold. You could also use a paint pen. I'm going to put a little line there. And I'm going to do just a little bit of shading on these edges here. Just simple. I like simple. Okay, so obviously I kind of went through this fast just so that you guys aren't having to watch me paint all day, but there's, you know, so many things that you guys could do. You could add, like you could add polka dots. So if you just put a little bit of paint on the plastic into your brush, you could add some polka dots to this heart. You could use a paint pen and make, you know, make any kind of like stripes or anything fun. Okay guys, so I have everything all good and painted and dry. I'm ready to go. I've got my little pieces of Velcro. They are probably bigger than what you're gonna need, so you can cut them in half. Especially if you're doing 2 sets, you can just cut these in half and use all of them. But what we're gonna do is I'm gonna use some super glue. I have my Gorilla Glue super glue. You could use wood glue. It just takes a little longer to dry. You could use hot glue. I don't prefer hot glue, but it would work. So just whatever you have that will, you know, stick it on. And so what we want to do is we want to line up our letters. Make sure you've got enough room for your interchangeables in the centers, and just kind of put them on. You can use a ruler if you want to. You could use whatever you feel like, you know, you need to help you line up. But what we're going to do is we're just going to put some glue on. I've already got a little bit on here. And you want to line up all of your letters so that you know you have room for everything. You don't want to put the M and the H too close together and not have room for your center, okay? And okay. My glue is almost empty. And I know I said this before, but you want to make sure that that background is really good and dry, because the glue won't want to stick to it and your Velcro won't either. Okay. And then the H. Make sure that I'm lined up here. Press down on them a little bit, make sure they're sticking. You could even like sit a book on top of it. Okay. All right, easy peasy. Now, when you're ready to use your Velcro, you guys will notice there are a couple of different kinds. So you've got one kind that's kind of rough, and then you've got one kind that isn't so rough, okay? That is the piece that you're gonna put on the background. So whichever one is by itself, whichever one that you only have one of, it's gonna go on the back, and then your other pieces that are all the same are gonna go on the back of your little guys. So hopefully that makes sense. So you've got one that's different. That's the one that's gonna go on your wood piece, okay? So what I'm gonna do first is I'm gonna put one on the back of my snowflake, and I'm gonna just stick it kind of right in here so you can't really see it, okay? Now, I want to place that where it's going to be, because if you notice the others, you could really put the Velcro anywhere. The snowflake is the one that is a little bit more difficult, okay? So I'm going to take this piece off of this piece of Velcro. And again, make sure your paint is really good and dry, because otherwise it won't stick, okay? Okay. All right, now if you shake it around a whole lot, it could fall off, but that should keep it on there pretty good and stable, okay? And then you very gently peel it off, okay? And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna put the other pieces on your other little guys here. So this one I'm gonna put right about there. Okay. One for the heart. And one for the bunny. There we go. So pretty simple. You guys will have to kind of mess with these a little bit. You know, you may need to move your Velcro around a little. You can always glue this Velcro down. Like if you have to pull it up, you can always super glue it back down. I literally got this Velcro at the Dollar General. So if you need some other, it's like, I think $1 at Dollar General for just some little strips of it. So if you need to pick up some more to help you along the way, you can. Some double-sided tape will work too. Just kind of some like that industrial double-sided tape, but as long as you don't mess with it a whole lot, you should be good to go. So as always, guys, let me know if you have any questions. I hope this was fun, something that you can use all year round. I tried to stay away from the holiday this time just because Christmas is almost here. So I look forward to painting with you guys again next year. I'm going to be doing a Valentine's Day project for January, but if you have any other suggestions, let me know. I love suggestions. So you guys have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, and I will talk to you guys soon. Bye bye.